It's the voice of the one and only DJ Scream, letting you know that you are now in tune to the Casual Flex, where culture meets sports and casuals are welcome. Now here's your host, Phillip Dukes.
Welcome to the fourth episode of the Casual Flex. I am your host, Phillip Dukes, aka Dukes the Scoop. Catch me on Instagram and Twitter at Dukes the Scoop. Make sure you hit like and hit that subscribe button. But without further ado, HBCU week, historically black colleges and universities. So this weekend we had a bit of a fiasco go on at Alabama, in Montgomery, Alabama to be exact, the Jackson State, Alabama State game. And so what happens? Alabama State loses to Jackson State, led by Deion Sanders. And the head coach of Alabama State, Eddie Robinson Jr., towards the end of the game or after the game with the customary post-game handshake, Deion goes in and shake his hand and goes in for like the handshake kind of bro hug. And the guy, Eddie Robinson Jr., just like, get off me, like just makes this whole debacle. And so now we've got a multitude of media sources like kind of just like, hey, is Deion wrong? What did Deion do wrong? And was Alabama State's head coach in the right? My opinion on the whole situation. Eddie Robinson Jr. ain't no fool. So what do you mean by that, Dukes? He knew that all eyes were going to be in the HBCU community. He knew that this was going to be the absolute most coverage that Alabama State was going to get all year. So how did he know that? Or what did he do to prove that? One, he made Jackson State the homecoming game. First and foremost, you're not going to see like certain schools have those type of games or those type of, where you may be the underdog. Usually you don't make people your homecoming. It's just an unsaid rule in football. You don't make a tough team your homecoming. It's a sign of disrespect, right? Okay, cool. So he made them homecoming knowing that there were going to be more people there than ever. He's going to sell out, right? Homecoming is already big there. So by making Jackson State the homecoming matchup, huge. Okay, I'm not saying that he did that. I won't be surprised if so. Let me take that back. I don't know if he did that. Alabama State as a whole did that. So that's one. Okay, two. That was the biggest recruiting weekend Alabama State may have ever had last week. Like the number of top 300 ESPN 300 recruits has never been higher than it was this past weekend. Two recruits from Montgomery who everybody in the world wants, Quay Rousseau and James Smith out of Montgomery Carver. They were both in attendance. Auburn commit Braden Jordan was in attendance, so another 4-star. Other people were there taking visits to Alabama State this weekend, knowing that Jackson State was going to be there. So, of course, Alabama State was going to take advantage of that. 3, Eddie Robinson Jr., right, played in the NFL for a very long time. He's a SWAC Hall of Famer. He's no stranger to mass media and multimedia outlets. He knows marketing. He knows what it takes in order to get eyes. He's been around it. He's played in the Super Bowl. He played with the Titans. Like, this guy is no stranger. So it's not like it's just some, oh, woe is me, poor black coach in Alabama State just trying to make it. No, that man knows what's going on. He's got a real long check too. Like, he's always been in the mix. He's in the SWAC Hall of Fame. Actually, he was a second-round pick in the 1994 draft. In the early 90s, he was a second-round pick out of Alabama State, the youngest player to ever be inducted into the Alabama State or the HBCU Hall of Fame. I can't remember which one it is, but I believe it's the HBCU Hall of Fame. He was inducted at 28 years old. Like, this guy is no stranger to understanding what marketing and media does. And I know for a fact in his heart, he knew what he was doing. Like, that wasn't an accident. Like, all of the stuff they can say and the save face, listen to the whole diatribe that he had, the press conference afterwards. He was he walked through my line and disrespected me. He didn't talk to me before the game, so don't hug me. You went to shake the man's hand anyway. Like, you went to go shake his hand. All right, so y'all ain't cool. I understand that, personal space, boundaries, or whatever. But if Deion thought that that's what that was, that he wouldn't even have reached out to him. It wasn't like Deion Sanders know who that man is. That man was a 6'2", 240-pound linebacker in the league, and they played against each other. That man know who he is. at the end of the day, like if that was how you felt, I really believe that he took advantage of this opportunity because guess what? Now that press conference at Alabama State is going to get picked up by ESPN. Now it's going to get picked up by CBS Sports. Not Deion's side, the Alabama State side of it. So that whole little deal and snatch away from, I think there was a little bit of premeditation there. I do think he knew what he was doing, and to be honest, I think it was a stroke of genius on his part because look at all the aspects of the interaction that he brought up in the press conference. Oh, well, Deion, I hope you don't go to no Power 5 school. Oh, okay. So now you're putting the pressure on Deion. See, the SWAC knows that Deion Sanders is the biggest draw. Everybody's getting more money. You got one game a year that you're going to get more people than anybody else. You got an opportunity. You can sell the opportunity to play against Deion and some of the top athletes in the country to other guys to help build your team. So, yeah, they want to keep Deion in the SWAC. Yeah, and they're proving that, you can get national coverage there. More coaches are probably going to do this. He trolled Deion last year when Alabama State beat them. They put his picture with the Jerry curl and the gold chains on the phone. They put that on the scoreboard. So, like, I don't think, and then too, the whole Eddie Robinson Jr. is so smart. So, first of all, his name is Eddie Robinson Jr., which you can't help. But the whole statement about he ain't SWAC, like in reference to Deion, and the first thing that the average fan is thinking is, oh, he's saying that because he's Eddie Robinson, the Grambling coaching legend's son, and he grew up in it, and that's why he's saying that because it's his blood, it's his family. Them folks is not related. That is not Eddie Robinson's son. They are not related. Eddie Robinson Jr. was a star in his own right, and like I said, played in the NFL for a long time as a second-round pick out of Alabama State. That's why he said that. But even choosing those words, he knew what the implications would be following. So what do I think about the whole situation? I think that one, Deion handled it well. If you watch on the other side of it, Deion hit him with he was like, hey, no, Deion ain't know. See, a lot of people think that they don't know Eddie Robinson Jr.'s background. So understanding that this man was a big-time linebacker that made over 800 tackles in the NFL, knows Deion, right? Ain't scared of, you might want some of Deion. For real. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was a great marketing ploy, and I also think it's a little bit of hate in there. It's a little bit of hate, man. Like, anybody that's, anybody who's really been a player in your life, sometime in your life, it comes with that P. You know what the P in player, the P. You know it comes with P. Like, everybody say you pushing P, pushing player. Like, it comes with that. So there are going to be people that are not happy to see that you get all the attention. Him even saying he ain't SWAC, there was some hate in there. Yeah, it was. You know why? I'm the youngest guy who's ever been inducted into the SWAC Hall of Fame. At HBCU, I think it's the SWAC Hall of Fame. The youngest person ever inducted into that Hall of Fame, right? And this guy's getting all the coverage. He didn't go to the school. And I feel like he's just coming back because nobody else will hire him. That's the only reason he's at a HBCU. So what if it is? Jackson State had the foresight to hire Deion, right? Okay, cool. So yeah, I think there's a little bit of hate in there, like why I'm not getting this attention. Look at what I've been doing at Alabama State over the past few years. I've been sending people to the league. I've got over 5 NFL players out of an HBCU right now and been doing it. So yeah, I mean, that's my take on the issue, man. I think Deion handled himself really, really well by not, getting physical or, making it a bigger deal than what it had to be. But Deion being a marketing genius that he is with the social media play, he's going to use this as a rallying cry for the rest of the year. Y'all done messed up. Deion finna go nuts now. And now he's going to have the people on this side because it looked like he was in the right. Deion know what he be doing. Deion doesn't showboat. Deion is going to make there's a circus that comes along with Deion. People want to see what Deion does, and now you've given him another platform in order for him to get people on his side when people are already rooting for him. So yeah, man, I think the situation, I wish it could have happened another way, but I think that being able to spotlight Alabama State because of something that may have been negative, there are going to be a lot of positives that come out of it. And I do think that Eddie Robinson probably was a little premeditated in what he did. So, I mean, that's my take on that. But speaking of Deion, Eddie Robinson also said, we hope you don't leave for a Power 5 school. So we're hearing the rumors about Deion with Georgia Tech, hearing the rumors about Deion with Auburn, and Auburn doesn't even have a vacancy, but we're still hearing those rumors, right? And a lot of people are saying, nobody's going to hire Deion at a Power 5. And I'm thinking to myself, why wouldn't you? Why would you not hire Deion? I'm not just talking about specifically the Auburn job, not the Georgia Tech job. If you're a Power 5 school, why would you not hire Deion? He doesn't have experience. Bro, who cares? You can hire, there are so many guys with experience getting fired every day. He didn't have experience before he got to Jackson State, okay? Think about all these guys who haven't called it on that level, right? How much experience do you want? Do you want head coaching experience? Do you want coordinating experience? Like, do you want recruiting experience? Because right now, I'm from the school that says Jimmy's and Joe's, not X's and O's. So you want a guy that has proven nobody's ever done what he's done. Nobody. And now he has the social media resources to compete with the big boys. So let's say Deion got hired at Georgia Tech in Atlanta, huh? The same Deion that played for the Braves and the Falcons in the A? Are you kidding me? So they talk about the academic requirements. They will figure that out. They'll figure it out. Like there are so like right now, and shout out to Jeff Collins, man. Like he couldn't figure it out on the field, but what I will say is he did a pretty good job recruiting at Georgia Tech. Like when you see Georgia Tech, I had a coach tell me, when you see Georgia Tech get off the bus, they look like they got some guys. Like you can see on the bus, it's not like, oh, okay, we can spank them. Like sometimes you'll see teams at that level and you'll say, oh no, we're gonna spank them. They don't got enough. They ain't big enough. They ain't fast enough. Like we know we got guys in the trenches. One of the other reasons that Deion said that he wouldn't play a school like Alabama right now, he won't play those money games, is because he's setting his guys up to lose and they'll figure out the money on their own, which they have been doing. But back to the original point, you give Deion Sanders the ability to say, you know what? Let me recruit against the Clemsons. Let me recruit against Georgia. Let me recruit against Bama. I'll take Deion Sanders over a lot of people that aren't already established. Now, the biggest question is, what kind of offense is he bringing? So what I say to that is, you allow Deion to be a CEO. If it's me, and I'm not just saying for the Auburn job, I know people are going to, like, by the time this clip comes out, they're going to say, oh, he's promoting Deion for the Auburn job. No, I'm just saying, I'm talking about Deion for any Power 5 job, an established Power 5 with some history. Deion has, they say, bring in NFL guys. If he has the right staff around him, right, he'll be fine. Like, how does the right staff look? I don't know. What I do know is that if you've got the players, you've got a shot. You have a shot if you have the players. If you don't have the players, you don't have a chance in hell. No way will you compete without the players. So the most important part of it all is getting the right guys there. So I believe that Deion can do that, and they can figure out the X's and the O's. They've got time clock analysts. They've got guys that read all the analytics and say, hey, here's an analytic script. You do this in every situation, when to and when not to. You can figure that part out. What you can't figure out is how to galvanize a fan base, get everybody excited about your program, and make kids want to come. If you can recruit the #1 guy in the country, probably one of the highest rated recruits in the past 10 years, if you can get him to pass up all of these other schools and go to Jackson, Mississippi, that's all I need to know right there. That's all I need to know. And you get Deion, you know what you're going to get? You're going to get a quarterback, right? His son coming with him, transfer portal. He hasn't used his. He's coming. So you're going to get a quarterback, right, that's probably better than the quarterback that you got on your roster. You're going to get Travis Hunter 9 times out of 10. You're going to get probably one of the highest rated corner wide receivers / guys in the past 10 to 15 years. Yeah, you're going to get him. So you got 2 cornerstones already to build around. Let Deion get around the portal in December at a Power 5 job. Yeah, right. All you got to do, and now you can compete. He can put together a 7 to 8 win team based on recruiting. He can. Let me tell you, a lot of people like to talk about what Nick Saban does. Let's talk about Nick Saban versus Bryan Harsin. I guarantee you right now, ask yourself this. How much more can Nick Saban get out of Auburn's roster right now? And do you think that if you switch these rosters around and you gave Alabama Auburn's roster and Auburn Alabama's roster, right? Do you think Bryan Harsin couldn't go undefeated with that team Nick Saban has? Maybe he loses one game, maybe. But that roster is loaded. Man, you give me Bill O'Brien at offensive coordinator. You give me whoever they calling the players at Alabama. I forgot his name. Man, I can win 9 games. I can win 9 games with that roster. Same thing at Georgia. I know for a fact I can win 9 games with that roster. I know I can. So with that being said, yeah, I think it's way more about Jimmy's and Joe's, and I think that anybody that knows, like you look at Nick Saban, he spends so much time recruiting. You look at Kirby Smart, top 2 teams in the country, they both are adamant about recruiting. And so, yeah, why not bring in one of the best recruiters that we've seen in a long time in Deion Sanders? And they say, oh, he hasn't done that long enough. He doesn't have any experience. Who cares, bro? This is 2022. Bro, it's not the old days. Maybe we might as well kiss that goodbye. Nick Saban runs a spread offense. That should be enough right there. Alabama, not even talking about all, like the changes in the game and how things are different. Social media, like it's just different, dog. And so in order to compete and to keep up with the changing times, I think whoever makes him a Power 5 coach, they won't regret it. And then even the whole, he might leave and go to Florida State. Bro, like people just say anything, dog. If he does, so what? Okay, he leaves, then what? Oh, we got to get another coach. Don't get him because, like, man, people outthink themselves out of everything good, bro. A lot of times you can't, it's just some people you're just not going to make happy. They just think themselves out of whatever, like, don't hire Deion because he really wants to be at Florida State. How do you know that? Have you talked to him? You don't know that. Like, we make stuff up sometimes, which is cool. But moving forward, let's talk about the Falcons. Dirty Birds. Heartbreaking loss yesterday to the Tampa Bay Bucks. And I really feel like victory was snatched away. And I can't say victory, but I feel like an opportunity at victory was snatched away by the referees. The Grady Jarrett play was so horrendous. And if you don't know, there was a roughing the passer call that extended a Tampa Bay Buccaneers drive in the fourth quarter after the Falcons had built some momentum. They were about to get off the field. They sacked Brady on 3rd down, and Grady Jarrett literally sacks him and rolls over. They said they threw him down and called a roughing the passer. Bro, probably the most egregiously bad call that we have seen this year. Not even to mention the pass interference on A.J. Terrell where he really had the seatbelt on my boy Mike Evans. I mean, scrap. Yeah. A.J. Terrell, like, yes, he's been beaten this year, but is he still that guy? Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, at cornerback, you got to have a short memory, and what he does every week is comes back, right, and takes on the number 1 guy again, and he's going to win some of those battles. And on that one in particular, he won. The refs took it away from us again. But the Grady Jarrett play was so bad, right? You could see it just took the life out of the Falcons. And the Bucks won. Bucks did not cover the spread. I got a little something on that. And the Falcons are going to be a contender this year. Like, if that's the class of the division, if that's the class, if the Bucks right now, yesterday, you had Godwin back, right? You had Fournette. I mean, if that's the class of the division, then the Falcons could be the Falcons can literally win that division. They're only 2-3. They can win that division. And they ain't even got nobody, dog. Like, for real, like right now, the Falcons really are playing good football based on what they have. Mariota right now is not a great quarterback. He's as average as the day is long. He is, right? I mean, average. I can't even think. Batting average, earn run average. Average in numbers. He's average, right? Cool. the Falcons are still in every game, right? They ain't got blown out yet. They cover the spread every week. And I think the mentality of this is the same old Falcons is costing Vegas money right now. This ain't the same Falcons. One, they got attitude. Two, they play harder than I've ever seen. Three, the scheme that they're running, this is the first time that I've seen the Falcons really and truly play to their personnel in a long time. Maybe since the Super Bowl season that we won't talk about. The Falcons play really well to their personnel. What do you mean? What I mean is, right now, we've got a great rookie wide receiver in Kyle Pitts, right? Okay, we've got a quarterback that cannot consistently get them the ball vertically. So what do? You call throws, you call plays, you run the ball, you protect the quarterback because this guy can read the defenses, but maybe he doesn't have the arm talent that another quarterback would have. Maybe Desmond Ridder has more arm talent than him right now, maybe. But his decision-making, right, he'll get rid of the ball. In those times, they protect him, right? They're putting Grady Jarrett in a position to win. Very important. They're keeping everything in front of them. On defense, defensively, they keep everything in front of them. They really play a lot of bend, don't break. And yeah, it's not as exciting a brand of football as we may have liked to see, but what they're doing is they're playing to their strengths. They're playing to their personnel. And I can't say enough about the way that they're playing as far as being able to shrink the game by running the ball and and not getting in the shootouts or trying to get in the shootouts early in the game because you're down, because you're trying to throw the ball and you're throwing picks and you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing with the personnel that you have. If we had a different quarterback, I guarantee you they would take more shots downfield, but they don't, based on the fact that we can't right now. We just can't. So I think when the quarterback shows himself for the future, like, you know, we're set up really well on the perimeter for the future. Like, when whoever the quarterback is going, it's not going to be Mariota. Like, Mariota's not the quarterback of the future. Every game he does something mind-boggling with the ball. Like, just like, bro, you just dropped the ball. He's gonna miss a snap, he's gonna fumble the ball, it's gonna be something. All right, cool. But what he will do is come back and make a throw that you're like, damn. Or he'll get up out that pocket and you're like, dang, okay, we got a first down and we went with that. We're not used to seeing us get. No shade to Matt Ryan, but we just not used to seeing that. So yeah, man, I'm really proud of the Falcons. As a Falcons fan, I really am proud of how the Falcons have shown themselves to be so far in the season. And I think that the Falcons can't make the playoffs, dog. Like the Falcons really should have won yesterday. Like, there's no doubt in my mind, if the refs called a good game, the Falcons win that game. And I think they're going to take that chip on their shoulder, and I think they're going to keep it with them, and I think they'll be successful in the future. And put me on record as saying the Falcons are going to the playoffs. I'm saying that. And if the Falcons make the playoffs, right, with the cap space, they just traded Deion Jones to Cleveland for a couple of, like a 6-round, 7-round pick. All right, they're going to have $12 million in dead cap. But after that, the Falcons got money for the next 2 years. Like, the Falcons are finally out of salary cap hell, and they can really get some guys to come on in. Imagine how the city looks different with, man. So you got the Hawks going to the playoffs, right? The Braves probably finna win it again. Man, Atlanta's is finally becoming a football destination city because you got a coach who understands and a scheme that people can believe in. They got a scheme you can sell on a consistent basis. That offense works. It's gonna work. And they ain't, man, bro. What if the Falcons go get that bell cow running back? What if they do spend some money, or they do spend some draft equity, and they go ahead and get one of those guys? Like the NFL draft this year, it's some running backs out there. You got Robinson at Texas. You got Tank Bigsby at Auburn. Tank Bigsby at Auburn right now, they sleeping on him, but man, dog, Bigsby is a league back. Man, can you imagine? Let's say if he goes out and, you know, he ends up being a 3rd-round pick. You get Tank Bigsby in the 3rd round. Oh my goodness. I mean, so many good running backs out there this year. So yeah, I think you pretty much said that receiver. You know what I'm saying? You get like Calvin Ridley will be back. They can afford to hold on to Ridley. You get Ridley back next year. Ridley, Pitts in London. I'm good with that. I'm absolutely good with that. The offensive line is – how is he getting this out of the offensive line? I don't know how he is, but they mashing people. We running the ball. We running smash mouth football. How is he doing it? Dean Pease, man, you spend money, you get you a big-time edge rusher. And the young guys are pretty good, but you bring in one big a big time free agent next year, you get another D tackle like to play that 5 technique. Oh yeah, man, the Falcons got something, dog. So yeah, man, put me on the record, man. Falcons going to the playoffs. If I'm wrong, man. But if I ain't, man, make sure y'all share this clip, man. Make sure you tell folks to like and subscribe because you know Duke said it first, man. Going out on the limb. I like what I see right now. So let's talk about Auburn. Auburn goes to Georgia, goes to Athens, loses by 30 piece, 29, something like that. Georgia covers the spread on them. Okay, cool. 4 touchdowns. What did I see? I saw a defense that played really well in the first half. I saw a defensive line that has first-round talent, especially a Derek Hall. Kobe Wooden had a big game. We saw Marcus Bragg out of West Kentucky. He's playing like a lot of folks don't know. Like Marcus Bragg was a walk-on at West Kentucky at one point, and Auburn was by far like his biggest offer. And that was a great job of evaluation by bringing him in because he's giving you some quality snaps. But we don't have the depth. Auburn does not have the depth, and that's going to be a big part going forward is keeping your guys fresh and the offense being able to get some momentum going. How do you feel about the fake punt call? I don't feel about the fake punt call. I mean, what you got to lose, man? Everybody just an article just came out Friday, the Friday before the game. An article comes out from probably like the premier sports, the guy who breaks that type of news in Auburn, saying that it's over with. An article comes out, man, your job is done. They're probably gonna let you finish the season, but it's over with. That type of pressure. So why wouldn't you fake the punt? Hell, fake the punt. I'd have onside kicked it right after that. You lost by 4 touchdowns anyway. Man, take every shot. If I'm Bryan Harsin right now, man, I'm unloading the clip. Every trick play I got, I'm doing it. What you got to lose? Go ahead, dog. Like, man, you might as well. And if I can say anything about Bryan Harsin, man, and they talk about, how everybody's mad at Bryan Harsin, but all these folks was not mad at Bryan Harsin when they was mad at Gus Malzahn. They was not mad. Bryan Harsin had folks talking about the Harsinal. Oh yeah, his offense. Oh, man, these same folks that's killing him was on the side now. So let's call a spade a spade, and I'm pretty sure he knows he ain't performed the way he like the way he would have liked to. But at the end of the day, man, what he did was, man, and this is probably the first time in Auburn history somebody stood up to the boosters and told them folks, man, I'm doing it my way, whether you like it or not. Does that work in Auburn? Eventually, nah, it ain't. It ain't. That'll never work at Auburn. That's just how Auburn is, and they will never work. But what I will say is, he stood up to him. He did it his way. If he keeps his job, he keeps his job. But hey, man, like I always say, I think I find a way to say this phrase at every show. I find a way to say it. He stood on business, man. Was that business the right business for Auburn? Probably not. Was it? Does he have his own integrity? That when they try to run out of town, did he slap his what's on the table and say, hey, bro, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere without 15 of them. I need all 15 of mine, my boy, for sure. That's what Bryan Harsin said. I'm not leaving without it. So you know what? He pushed the ball back into all the powers that be's hand and said, look, bro, you want me gone? Get me out of here. It's gonna cost you 15, big guy. So if you it can't be that bad if you don't want to pay that 15. Nebraska paid that money. Like the guys at Nebraska was not playing. They got him up out of there. Wisconsin just got rid of Paul. That just got rid of their coach, and they win 8-9 games. Wisconsin, now I'm pretty sure they wanted Jim Leonard, but at the end of the day, they doing it. Like teams are doing it. Jeff Collins, he had to go. Auburn boosters, they be doing stuff. So they do stuff so backwards sometimes. You just like, wait, what are y'all even doing? Y'all done harass the hell out of the man, and then want him to be like, oh yeah, I give y'all a discount after y'all harass the hell out of me. No, man, that man ain't giving up no discount, man. If so, at the end of the day, Auburn boosters, this is my message to y'all. If y'all like that, if y'all want so much control of the program and the people, y'all, the powers that be, whatever it is, man, do what you got to do then. That's one thing I'm always respect about Bryan Harsin. Right, he ain't run. He could have been dipped. He could have been got up out of here. He could have hightailed the man. That man, he could have went back to boys. He can go back to the West Coast. He can go wherever. He could chill. Bro, y'all, that's a lot of pressure, man. Your family on the line. They talking rumors and all that. So, man said, hey, look, I ain't did nothing, and I'm not leaving. I'm not finna let y'all tarnish my name just because that's that. The football part of it, hey man, what can you do? I mean, the recruiting part of it, hey, he did it his way. I'm always now, as much as you know, Auburn football means to people like me and graduates and alumni. It probably wasn't the best fit, you know. But one thing about it though, I mean, he did it his way. All right, man. Shout out to Bryan Harsin, man. Hope the best for you, my boy. You know, it don't look too good though, my boy. Before we wrap up, let's talk about the Braves. The Braves got the Phillies. Big game. Game 1 is tomorrow, I think around 1:00. The Braves won that season series like 11-8. I think the Braves handle business, you know what I'm saying? I think once you get past, see, the key to the Braves winning, so the two pitchers they have at the top of the rotation for the Phillies, Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola, they kind of had their way with the Braves this year a little bit. Like, you know, they've always kept the Phillies in the game. But the way that it's set up, which is why it was so important for the Braves to get that bye, they had to use them already. So they're going to start out the series with their 4th and 5th guy or their 3rd and 4th guy. But after those first two, their rotation gets like real choppy. So at the end of the day, man, I think the Braves, Bryce Harper's been slumping. I think the Braves can pull it out. You know, hopefully they come out hot. They continue that hot streak they had to end the season. You know, this is the time you want to be hot. Like last year, they got hot at the right time. I think right now that break we'll see. The first game, I think it may take, you know, they might get the jitters or whatever. But after they get that out, yeah, I think the Braves are a freight train. I like the Padres over the Dodgers. I think the Padres. I think we'll have a NLCS Braves versus Padres, and I think the Braves should experience-wise be able to pull it out. The Padres are a really scary team. They really got a lot of talent, but yeah. I think the Braves are back in the World Series. Not just fan talk, just real. That ain't fan talk, that's real talk. All right, man. Well, look, you know where to find me at. Dukes D Scoop, Instagram and Twitter, man. It's been a pleasure. Episode 4, The Casual Flex. I'm out.